when it all crumbles, when every plan, every promise, every last bit of hope seems to shatter like glass, you feel it deep in your bones, the burn of betrayal, the weight of failure crushing your chest, the cold, gnawing loneliness of standing in ruins nobody else dares to enter. You wrestle with chaos that's deafening, and the silence that follows is worse, because your mind screams at you to fix it, to make it right, while your hands feel helpless, stuck, frozen. You want to run, to hide, to quit, because the pain of losing the vision you carried is raw and unbearable. But that's exactly the moment where the greatest founders live. The edge of collapse becomes their battleground. Great founders don't just survive when everything falls apart. They awaken. They don't kid themselves with empty hope or hollow motivation. They stare straight into the wreckage and ask one question that most won't dare. What if this is the best thing that's ever happened? What if this break, this fracture, is the root of a new way forward nobody else can see yet? Because here's the brutal truth. Comfort is your killer. When the world breaks, it frees you from lies, from illusions, from the chains keeping you small. Pain strips away the fake, but it also powers the fire that will rebuild everything, stronger, sharper, truer. You can feel it inside if you listen, a fierce, untamable call to unlearn everything and start stripping back to the core of what really matters. Founders who conquer the chaos don't cry over the ruins. They become architects of a new world, using ashes as bricks. They don't fall apart because they know one secret most miss. The system that failed you is not your prison. It's your starting point. The broken rules don't bind you. They liberate you. You're not here to play safe or sit quiet. You're here to challenge the lies told by comfort, to smash the illusion that everything should be easy or neat or clear. Real power comes from diving into the unknown, knowing deep down that your scars show not weakness, but survival and growth. It's terrifying, it's lonely, and it's the birthplace of the rarest greatness. You have to refuse the voice telling you to settle, step back, or slow down, because the world will whisper, "You're done, stop." But the greatest founders roar back, "Not yet, not ever." They build walls not around themselves to keep others out, but to protect that raw, burning core inside where vision breathes, even when the sky is crashing down. That core is more than ideas or products. It's your will, your refusal to be less than what you know you can be. When everything falls apart, clarity emerges, not the kind sold by books or podcasts, but the hard-won kind that comes from looking at your failure naked. They identify what didn't work, strip away ego, and don't cling to what's familiar just because it's comfortable. They attack problems like hunters, precise and relentless, not in blind panic. They find the smallest signal in the noise, the one thread that's still untangled, and they pull on it until the whole mess unravels into possibility. Desperation can be a gift disguised as pain, if you dare to see it that way. The brutal truth is that you're not failing because you lack talent or because the world is against you. You're failing because you are growing beyond what your current tools, your current mindset, your current surroundings can support. That growth hurts. It has to. It ruptures the old skin. But it's not just about hustling harder or grinding longer. Those things burn out the best of us. The greatest founders survive by mastering what's below the surface. Their mental landscape, their emotional core, their ability to rewrite their story even when all signs scream end. They do this by learning to sit still with discomfort instead of chasing distraction. They don't run from the chaos. They lean into it, become curious about its nature, and start designing their own way through instead of following paths that no longer exist. That means questioning everything, all the truths you've been told, all the rules you followed. It means trusting yourself enough to rebuild your identity on your own terms, not as a CEO, not as a startup founder, but as a force of nature uniquely equipped to remake the game. It's easy to say, question everything, but it's terrifying to actually do it. The mind fights hard against change. It clings to comfort like a drowning person. But look at what's left when comfort dies. Raw potential, unfiltered by fear or society's expectations. Great founders leap into this emptiness without guarantees. They are not safe, and they don't ask to be. Their safety comes from something deeper, a sovereign will that says, I will make my reality. That will is the weapon that breaks you free from others' scripts, from the invisible prisons of conformity and complacency. And here's where connection becomes magic. Being misunderstood, isolated, even hated, that's part of the journey. But the rarest founders know they don't have to walk it alone, yet they don't look for crowds or easy friends. They seek a few, the few who burn with the same fierce fire, who won't dilute their vision or sell them out. These are not networking contacts or business cards. They are sparks, each one dangerous and powerful, that together create a blaze impossible to ignore. You don't want a network of followers. You want a network of equals willing to challenge you, grow with you, and pull you up when the ground gives way. This is where true rebellion lives, not in loud protests or viral posts, but in the quiet, relentless building of something new and unbreakable from the ruins. It's a rebellion against fixing broken systems and instead inventing ones that serve the fiery individual who refuses to be tamed. You rewrite the rules not by asking permission, but by being unrelenting. You don't just create the future. You embody it in every tough choice, every sleepless night, every painful lesson that chips away at who you thought you were and builds who you must become. Patience is brutal, but sacred here. When the world chases quick wins, the greatest founders understand eternity plays for those who keep their fire alive across storms. You don't stop when it gets hard. You steady your breath, tune your senses, and play the long game with ruthless discipline. Because progress is never a straight line. It's a twisted, painful climb, a burst of light in darkness, a song that no one else hears, but those who refuse to quit, even when the noise of doubt is deafening. And liberation, real liberation, is not easy or comfortable. It's a war inside. It's the breaking of the comforting but deadly chains that keep you small. When the world smiles and tells you it's safe, you must choose whether to melt into that illusion or to burn with your own fierce truth. Choosing to burn means you stop chasing borrowed lives, borrowed dreams. You own your story, your fire, your individuality with everything you have, even when it feels like the whole world is against you. This is not for the many. It's for those who know in their bones there's more inside. Those who refuse to settle, who survive not because they endure, but because they transform themselves into something new and unstoppable. Those who understand the greatest power is not finding safety, but creating it with their own hands and will. Those who step out of the false freedom offered by systems and claim real sovereignty, real freedom, and real power. So when your world falls apart, remember, it is not the end. It is your call to rise, to pull yourself from the wreckage, to shed the old skin that no longer fits, and to become the founder you were born to be, not one who follows light, but one who burns through darkness to make new light. This is the moment to break past fear, past exhaustion, past doubt, and discover your own path beyond rules, beyond comfort, beyond the broken world. Because in this shattering, you become not just a survivor, but a creator of the impossible, the rare, the real, the unstoppable.